Guys, what's going on? My name is Ryan. I trade ETFs and I like to make videos of some of the technical analysis that I'm seeing in the market today. So we are going to look at SPY, the S&P 500 SN index, and let's get started. So first thing here on the weekly, stretching all the way back to 1994, see that we have this extremely strong Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and looks like we're setting in the last leg of this Elliott wave here. Let's go to the daily. Here on the daily, we have an Elliott wave that I've drawn here, which would be on a shorter time frame. Our daily, it's an Elliott wave that would be a part of the fifth wave in the weekly. Anyways, I expect us to, kind of come to the lower side of this channel, which we appear to be in the process of doing right here. I've drawn a new channel, a smaller channel, in which case we have captured the price for the last 6 or so months. Looks like we bounced off this bottom, top, support, resistance, and I think that we are going to hit the top one more time, get rejected, and fall back into 4. And then after 4 is set in for our Elliott wave, it would make sense for us to head higher. At the moment, it looks like this red line right here is our support line. We have come up to this level several times now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so this has been some fairly decent support here about in the middle of our channel. And what I kind of expect to happen is that we're going to curl around here and bounce off the support and potentially head higher and set in the end of this third wave. Third wave is supposed to be the longest wave, and this would make sense as far as the pattern is going right now. Some divergences I'm seeing is with the CCI. We are moving downwards here. So from this high here to a lower high, and then price makes a high and then a higher high. So this is a short-term divergence that I'm seeing here in the daily chart. Another divergence that I'm seeing is with the RSI. However, it might be too early to make this claim yet, but our RSI gets to over here at about probably 80, and we have yet to break out above 80. 80 is a pretty high level to try and get up above, and so it makes sense that we're struggling. So we have a falling RSI while price is rising. One thing that gives me a little bit of confidence that we are going to have a bounce off of this is that this blue line here was previous highs for the S&P 500 right here. So we got rejected once, twice, and then we broke out above it, and we came up, and this is a resistance level here marked by a Fibonacci line. And so we got rejected off of this level, and it would make sense for us to come back down and test this support here by this red line and also by this blue line. Previous resistance becomes support once we break out above it, and the fact that these two kind of intersect right here would make for a good short-term thesis for the next 2 or 3 weeks for us to come down and touch right about here and then continue to move up higher, like I said earlier. As far as this RSI goes, we've held this 50 level very, very well, and like I said, this gives me confidence that we are going to continue to hold this level, and we are just inching up higher. What I mean by it holding this 50 level so well is before you can see that, we kind of break down and we try to hold on to it, but then we break down further. You can see the same kind of thing happening right over here. But over here, we get down to this 50 level and it's a V bottom and we kind of just shoot right back up. And, this gives me confidence that we are holding this level fairly well. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. So here in the 2-hour chart, I have a divergence here again with our RSI making consecutive lower lows 3 times while we make consecutive higher highs 3 times in price. And we finally see that divergences have started to take root and we are beginning to drop a little bit. This might be in part by the NASDAQ, which has seen a pretty substantial fall as of lately, but we're going to stick to the SPY here. Again, I have this marked as the must hold level, and it would make sense for us to come down and bounce off of this. These black and blue lines right here represent different Fibonacci lines. This is our 1.6, 1.4, or 161.4 Fibonacci, and it looks like we got rejected off of that pretty hard. So 141.3 Fibonacci, and it looks like we're holding support. It was previous resistance. We kind of flagged out here and broke out above it, and now it's acting as support. However, the 141.3 is not usually a strong support or resistance level, but it is a resistance and support level nonetheless. And finally, we have our 121.7 level, which was our previous resistance breakout line. So we've broken out. Makes sense for us to move up here and retest this level before getting confirmation that we can move higher, as well as some nice consolidation. On the 1-hour chart, what do I have from last week? So last week, I expected us to come up here and test this level, bounce back down off the 141.3 and move higher. It looks like that played out fairly well. However, I'm changing my thesis up to, instead of bouncing off this level, I think that we're going to fall through it because these divergences are continuing to play out. Here in the 30-minute chart, I can kind of see the beginning of what might be a head and shoulders, which would make me a little bit nervous. However, this is just kind of a shot in the dark at this point. I can see a left shoulder, a head, and then when we bounce off of this support level, I can see us coming up. And if we do not just shoot right through this 141.3 Fibonacci line, and we kind of get stalled up here for a while, I can see us breaking down further. However, this is, like I said, just a shot in the dark. There's nothing conclusive about this right now. It's just kind of what I'm seeing in the price. And this would be something to watch out for. I'm always looking to mention things that might happen or could happen, what I'm seeing, to give you more of an overall picture and not just here are some support and resistance lines, maybe a pattern here. I'm looking to give you a more comprehensive picture of what's going on. Looks like on the 30-minute I have a very short-term divergence. So it looks like we have a low here and a lower low, while our CCI makes a low and a higher low. So this is a very short-term divergence. It looks like it played out over the course of a day or two. Here on the 30-minute chart. On the 15-minute chart, this is the price path and kind of what I'm expecting to see. Again, this would make sense as far as the head and shoulders would go. So this is kind of complicated. However, this line right here, it's a small line as well as this black line and this black line. So right now it looks to me like we are in this channel right here. I took our support here, here, and here, drew it all the way down to this red line, which is acted as previous support many times, and I cloned it and dragged it on the other side. So as well as this line right here, I thought that I find that previous support and resistances tend to hold up over time, and they do not just go away right away. So you can see that this was previous support many times, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And so I see that this line right here might play a role as far as further price action goes. It might just be a short-term bounce. However, it looks like we got supported here by this channel, and we started to bounce up higher. So my short-term prediction for the price path next week is that we're going to come up here, get rejected off the 78.6% fib level, as well as the top of this channel. We're going to fall back down and be supported our 5th time by this line right here. We're going to have a short-term bounce upwards, and then we're going to fall back down into this previous resistance line, this previous breakout point here, the 240 level. And at this point, I can see us breaking out higher, forming this shoulder, and then I can see us coming down and finally testing this previous stronger support level. This would make sense from an Elliott wave perspective. If this is our impulse wave downwards, we kind of have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be our A, B, C. So I have a target price for an entry here in the S&P 500, anywhere in this box. I know it's kind of a wide box, it ranges for about $1, and this is also our must-hold level. But as far as a short-term trade perspective goes, I think that it would make sense to try and find a price to buy at here around the 240 to 239.50 level. And that has been my analysis for the S&P 500 ETF SPY chart. If you like this video, you got anything out of it at all, please like and subscribe for weekly updates. It helps me out a lot. Good luck in trading the S&P 500 next week, and happy Father's Day. All right, bye-bye.